Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering why? You're not alone! This strange phenomenon happens to many of us, and today we're diving into the top 9 reasons why this might be happening to you. Let's get to the bottom of those midnight mysteries. Reason 1. Stress and anxiety. First up, stress. Life's tough, right? If your mind's racing with thoughts or worries, it might just decide to start the day way earlier than you'd like. Imagine there's this guy named Jack. Jack works at a busy office where there's always a deadline around the corner. One night, Jack has a big presentation the next day that could get him that promotion he's been eyeing. He goes to bed thinking about all the things that could go wrong. What if the projector fails? What if he forgets his lines? What if someone asks a question he can't answer? Around 3 a.m., Jack's eyes snap open. His heart's beating a bit fast, and his mind's already racing through his presentation. He's not just awake, he's wide awake. This isn't just random, his body is reacting to the stress. His brain decides it's time to prepare for the threat, the presentation, even though it's hours away. This is what happens with stress-induced wakefulness. Your mind gets stuck in worry mode. Like Jack, your brain might start solving problems or worrying about future events the moment you hit that particular time in your sleep cycle when you're prone to wake up. Physical response. Stress can trigger your body's alarm system, releasing chemicals like cortisol, which is like your body's own natural alarm clock. It's supposed to help you deal with immediate threats by making you more alert, but at 3 a.m., it just leaves you staring at the ceiling. Example in life. Think about students during exam season or someone before their wedding day. They might find themselves waking up at these odd hours, their minds buzzing with to-do lists or scenarios that might never happen. This story of Jack shows how stress can hijack your sleep. If you find yourself like Jack, waking up worried, it might help to write down worries before bed to get them out of your head. Try some relaxation techniques, like deep breathing or meditation, when you find yourself awake at night. Keep a regular sleep schedule to help reset your internal clock. By understanding that stress might be why you're up when you'd rather not be, you can start to find ways to calm your mind, ensuring that both your sleep and your daytime performance don't take a hit from these midnight worries. Reason 2. Sleep cycles. Your body has its internal clock, and sometimes it just decides 3 a.m. is the new morning. We'll talk about how your sleep cycles might be playing tricks on you. Meet Sarah. Sarah's a night owl by nature, but she has to wake up early for her job. She goes to bed at midnight, thinking she'll get a good 7 hours of sleep. But something strange happens. Around 3:30 a.m., like clockwork, Sarah finds herself awake, not tired anymore, just awake. Here's what could be going on with Sarah. Sleep cycles explained. Your sleep isn't just one long chunk of rest. It's made up of several cycles that each last about 90 minutes. In these cycles, you go from light sleep to deep sleep, then to REM, dream sleep, and back to light sleep again. Sarah's example. Sarah goes to bed at midnight. By 3:30 a.m., she's completed about 2 full cycles. After deep sleep, there's a period where you're in lighter sleep or even briefly awake before starting the next cycle. If something in Sarah's environment, like a noise, or even her own body's timing, aligns with this lighter phase, she wakes up. The body's clock. Our bodies have an internal clock called the circadian rhythm. This clock loves routine. If Sarah usually gets up at 7 a.m. but goes to bed at different times, her body might get confused about when it should be in deep sleep and when it should start preparing to wake up. What this means. For Sarah, her wake up at 3:30 a.m. might just be her body saying, "Hey, I've had a couple of good sleep cycles. Are we getting up now?" But because she doesn't actually need to get up, this can feel like an annoying glitch in her sleep pattern. Sarah could try to stick to a sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day helps regulate her body's internal clock. Create a buffer zone. She could try going to bed a little earlier to give herself a buffer, ensuring she gets enough cycles of sleep even if she wakes up briefly. Make sleep conditions ideal. Ensuring her bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool can help her fall back asleep if she wakes up during a light sleep phase. By understanding that our sleep works in cycles and our bodies like routine, Sarah and anyone else experiencing this can adjust their habits to better match their natural sleep rhythms, potentially avoiding those early morning wake-ups or at least making it easier to go back to sleep. Reason 3, the need to use the bathroom. Gotta go when you gotta go! Nocturia, or the need to pee at night, could be waking you up. We'll explore why this happens. Take Tom, for instance. Tom enjoys his evening tea while watching his favorite late-night show. He thinks a warm drink helps him relax before bed. But here's the thing. What goes in must come out, right? Tom's nightly routine. Every night around 4 a.m., Tom wakes up with a pressing need to visit the bathroom. This isn't just coincidence, it's biology at work. What's happening here? When you drink fluids, your body processes them, and eventually, your bladder fills up. During the day, you might not notice because you're up and about, using the bathroom when you need to. But at night, when you're trying to get a solid block of sleep, a full bladder can be like an alarm clock. The example unfolded. Tom's tea, especially if it's something like green tea which can act as a diuretic, meaning it makes you need to pee more, means his body is working to get rid of excess fluid while he's supposed to be sleeping. By 4 a.m., his bladder hits that "I'm full" point, waking him up. Why this matters? This wake-up call isn't just about inconvenience. It can disrupt your sleep cycle, especially if you struggle to fall back asleep. And for older folks, or those with certain medical conditions, this might happen more than once a night, really chopping up their sleep. For Tom and anyone else in his slippers, here are some simple fixes. Limit fluids before bed. Try not to drink too much in the hour or two before going to sleep. Evening bathroom trip. Make a pit stop to the bathroom right before bed to empty the bladder as much as possible. Check your drinks. Avoid caffeine or alcohol in the evening. Both can increase the need to go. Medical checkup. If waking up to pee becomes too frequent, it might be worth talking to a doctor. There could be other reasons like an overactive bladder or, for men, prostate issues. By adjusting his evening habits, Tom could potentially sleep through the night, or at least reduce those early morning wake-up calls from his bladder. Understanding this simple cause and effect can lead to better sleep hygiene and a more restful night for anyone experiencing this common issue. Reason 4, your diet. That late-night snack or evening coffee might not be as innocent as you think. Let's chat about how what you eat and drink affects your sleep. Mia loves her spicy food and often ends her day with a delicious, fiery dinner or a late-night snack. She's noticed, though, that around 3:30 a.m., she often wakes up, sometimes feeling a bit uncomfortable or even with a bit of heartburn. Mia's love for spice. One evening, Mia decides to have her favorite spicy tacos for dinner. She enjoys the flavor, but doesn't think much about how it might affect her night. What happens next? As Mia sleeps, her body is busy digesting that spicy meal. Spicy foods can stimulate the stomach to produce more acid, and lying down doesn't help. This can lead to heartburn. The acid from the stomach can creep up into the esophagus, causing discomfort or even pain, which is enough to wake her up. Indigestion. Her stomach might just be working overtime, causing enough disturbance to interrupt her sleep. The timing. By around 3 a.m., the digestion process for Mia's dinner might hit a peak, especially if she ate late. Her body's reaction to the food could be what's nudging her awake. Another example, caffeine. Let's say Mia also had a coffee after dinner to keep her energy up for some late-night work. Caffeine stays in the system for hours, and just when she's in a lighter sleep phase, it could give her brain a little nudge saying, "Hey, stay alert." To deal with this, Mia could adjust dinner time, eat earlier to give her body more time to digest before sleep. Choose night-friendly foods. Opt for meals that are easier on the stomach at night. Less spice, less acidity, and avoiding heavy or rich foods. Mind the beverages. Cut down on caffeine or alcohol close to bedtime. These can not only keep you awake, but also make you wake up once you're asleep. Stay upright after eating. Instead of lying down right after eating, Mia could sit up for a while or take a gentle walk to help with digestion. By making these small changes, Mia, or anyone else who finds their diet disrupting their sleep, could potentially enjoy a full night's rest without those early morning interruptions. Understanding the link between what we eat and how we sleep can lead to better nighttime habits and, consequently, better sleep. Reason 5. Age. As we get older, our sleep changes. Less deep sleep means more wake-ups. If you're not as young as you used to be, this could be your reason. Think about Grandpa Joe. When Joe was young, he could sleep through anything. He'd go to bed at 10 p.m. and wake up at 7 a.m. sharp, feeling like he could take on the world. But now, Joe is 75 and things are different. The story of Grandpa Joe. Joe used to brag about his deep sleeps during his youth, where even thunderstorms couldn't wake him. But as years passed, Joe noticed he wasn't sleeping like he used to. Here's what changed. Lighter sleep. Now, Joe finds himself waking up from the slightest noise, or even if the room gets too warm. His sleep isn't as deep anymore. More wake-ups. Joe now wakes up a few times during the night, usually to use the bathroom or because he feels a bit uncomfortable. Earlier to bed, earlier to rise. Joe goes to bed at 9 p.m. because he gets tired earlier in the evening, and he's up by 5 a.m., even if he tries to sleep in. Naps are a new friend. Since his nighttime sleep isn't as long or restful, Joe finds himself taking a nap in the afternoon, something he never needed before. Why this happens. As people get older, like Grandpa Joe, their bodies produce less of the hormones that help maintain deep sleep. Also, health issues or medications can affect sleep patterns. The body's internal clock also shifts, making older folks feel sleepy earlier and wake up earlier. An example to understand. Imagine sleep like diving into a pool. When Joe was young, he could dive deep into the water, deep sleep, and stay there. Now, he mostly swims near the surface, light sleep, and it's easier for him to get out of the pool, wake up, because of little disturbances. This story of Joe shows how age can change something as fundamental as how we sleep. These changes aren't just about less sleep, it's about how the quality and pattern of sleep evolve over time, reflecting the body's aging process. Reason 6. Sleep disorders. Conditions like insomnia or sleep apnea could be the culprits. If your sleep is constantly broken, it might be time to look into these. Emily has always been a light sleeper, but recently, she's been waking up multiple times a night, gasping for air or feeling like she's choking. It's scaring her, and she's tired all the time. Emily's struggle. Every night, Emily goes to bed hoping for a good night's sleep, but within a few hours, she wakes up with a jolt. This isn't just random. She has sleep apnea, a condition she didn't know she had until these symptoms became too frequent to ignore. What's sleep apnea? Sleep apnea is when your breathing stops and starts while you sleep. This can happen because the throat muscles relax too much, blocking the airway temporarily. Emily's example. When Emily falls asleep, her throat muscles relax, and sometimes they close up her airway. Her brain, noticing she's not breathing, wakes her up just enough to take a breath, often with a loud snort or choking sound. This can happen many times a night, disrupting her sleep cycle. The consequences. Because of these interruptions, Emily wakes up tired. Even though she spends enough time in bed, she never feels rested because her sleep quality is poor. Health impact. Over time, sleep apnea can lead to other health issues like high blood pressure or heart problems if not addressed. Another example. Insomnia. Let's say there's another character, Alex, who has insomnia. Instead of problems with breathing, Alex just can't fall asleep or stay asleep. Alex lies awake, thinking, planning, or worrying, and when he does fall asleep, the slightest noise or thought can wake him up around 3 a.m., leaving him unable to go back to sleep. Emily and Alex's stories highlight different sleep disorders. Emily with sleep apnea. She learned to use a CPAP machine at night, which keeps her airways open with gentle air pressure, allowing her to sleep through the night without interruptions. Alex with insomnia. He might work on sleep hygiene, perhaps try cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI, or discuss medication options with a doctor. By understanding that these sleep disorders could be why they're waking up in the dead of night, both Emily and Alex can seek help, leading to better sleep and improved overall health. Sleep disorders are more than just an inconvenience. They're health conditions that deserve attention and care. Reason 7. Spiritual or cultural beliefs. Did you know some believe 3 a.m. has spiritual significance? We'll touch on why some cultures and spiritual teachings point to this hour as special. Aisha grew up hearing stories from her grandmother about the witching hour, a time in the early morning when the world is supposedly quieter and spirits are more active. She never thought much of it until she started waking up at 3:30 a.m. without any apparent reason. Aisha's experience. Every night, like clockwork, Aisha finds herself wide awake at this early hour. At first, she thought it was just stress or maybe something she ate. But then, she remembered her grandmother's tales. Cultural beliefs. In some cultures, this time is seen as a moment when the veil between worlds is thin. Aisha's grandmother would say, this is when ancestors or spirits might try to communicate, or when one could be more in tune with the spiritual realm. Spiritual awakening. Others might view this wakefulness as a sign of spiritual awakening or a call to meditate or pray. Aisha starts to wonder if this is her time for some inner reflection or spiritual practice. An example from another culture, take Carlos, from a Latin American background. In his culture, there's a belief that if you wake up at this hour, someone might be thinking or talking about you, or it might be an omen or a signal to pay attention to your life's signs. Aisha's exploration. Intrigued, Aisha begins to meditate. Instead of trying to fight her wakefulness, she uses this time for meditation, seeing if she can gain insights or feel closer to her spiritual side. Journal. She keeps a journal by her bed to write down any thoughts, feelings, or dreams she might have upon waking, exploring if there's a message or pattern. Community connection. She talks with friends from different backgrounds, learning about various interpretations of this phenomenon, enriching her understanding. Aisha's story shows how waking up at this mysterious hour can be viewed through a spiritual or cultural lens, turning what might be frustrating into an opportunity for personal growth or connection with cultural roots. Whether these beliefs hold a mystical truth or not, they offer people like Aisha a framework to make sense of their experiences, turning a simple sleep disturbance into a potentially enriching ritual. Reason 8. Medications. Taking meds? Some can mess with your sleep patterns. We'll briefly go over which ones might be sending you into the arms of the night. Sam has high blood pressure, and his doctor prescribed him some medication to take every day. He's good about taking it in the morning with breakfast, just like he was told. However, recently, Sam started noticing something odd. He's been waking up in the middle of the night, often around 4 a.m., feeling unusually alert, or sometimes needing to use the bathroom. Sam's medication. Mystery. Sam didn't think much of it at first, but after talking to his friend, who's a nurse, he started to wonder if his new medication could be the culprit. How medications can affect sleep. Diuretics. Some of Sam's blood pressure meds are diuretics, which means they make you pee more. This could explain why he's waking up to go to the bathroom. Stimulants. Other medications might have ingredients that act like mild stimulants, making it harder to stay asleep during the lighter stages of sleep. Sam's example. One night, Sam decides to pay attention to how he feels after waking up. He notices he feels a bit dehydrated and his heart rate is slightly up, suggesting the medication might be influencing his sleep pattern. The solution. Sam goes back to his doctor with this new information. The doctor suggests timing. Maybe Sam could take his medication earlier in the day if possible, to lessen its effect during the night. Switch. If the issue persists, they might look into different medications that have less impact on sleep. Another example. Pain medication. Consider Linda, who's recovering from surgery. She's on painkillers that help her sleep at bedtime, but wear off after a few hours. By 3 a.m., the effect has dwindled, and the returning pain wakes her up. For both Sam and Linda, understanding that their medications could be the reason for their disrupted sleep is key. Sam's realization. He learns that even something as seemingly unrelated as blood pressure medication can have side effects that mess with sleep. Linda's experience. She talks to her doctor about adjusting her pain management schedule or considering a different type of pain relief that lasts longer into the night. By recognizing the link between their medications and sleep disturbances, Sam and Linda can work with healthcare providers to find better solutions, ensuring their treatments don't cost them precious sleep. This story shows how important it is to consider all aspects of healthcare, including how treatments might affect your nightly rest. Reason 9. Environmental factors. Your room could be sabotaging your sleep. From lights to sounds, let's find out how to make your bedroom a sleep sanctuary. Sam recently moved to a new apartment in the city. He was excited about the vibrant neighborhood, but soon noticed something odd. Every night, around 4 a.m., he'd wake up and couldn't figure out why. Sam's new environment. Sam's bedroom window faces the street, where the nightlife buzzes with activity even into the early hours. Noise. Late-night revelers, early morning garbage trucks, and the occasional siren pierce through Sam's sleep, pulling him out of his dreams. These sounds are not constant, but they're enough to disrupt his lighter sleep phases. Light. The streetlights are bright, and despite his curtains, light filters into his room. Sam didn't think much of it until he read that light can mess with your sleep, especially the blue light from street lamps, or even the glow from electronic devices. Temperature. Sam's apartment gets really warm as the night goes on because the building's heating system kicks in aggressively. He wakes up feeling too hot, which is another jolt to his sleep cycle. Sam's example. One early morning, Sam wakes up to the sound of a car alarm. He's sweaty because his room's too warm, and the light peeking through his curtains makes the room feel less like a place for sleep. Making changes. To fix this, Sam decides to use earplugs or white noise. He starts using earplugs and considers a white noise machine to drown out the street sounds. Install blackout curtains. To combat the light, Sam gets blackout curtains that keep his room dark, mimicking nighttime, even when the sun starts to rise or streetlights are on. Adjust room temperature. He talks to his landlord about the heating, but in the meantime, he opens a window or uses a fan to keep cooler at night. By addressing these environmental factors, Sam begins to sleep through the night. His bedroom becomes a sanctuary for sleep, free from the disruptions of his otherwise lively urban surroundings. This story shows how our sleeping environment can significantly impact our ability to stay asleep. For anyone like Sam, tweaking these environmental elements can be the key to uninterrupted sleep, making those early morning wake-ups a thing of the past. So, there you have it. 9 reasons why you might be greeting the early hours more often than you'd like. Remember, understanding why is the first step to better sleep. If this video shed some light on your nighttime awakenings, or if you've got other sleep mysteries you want solved, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell so you won't miss out on any sleep tips. Drop a comment below with your experiences or what topics you want to see next. Check the description for more resources on getting that good night's sleep. Thanks for watching, and until next time, sweet dreams and good night.